Welcome back to another episode of ACRP TV. And our spotlight today is on Merck's Oncology Trial Optimization Program. It's a really innovative program, and we have the exact right person to be talking to about it. Kelly White, who is the head of the trial optimization function for Merck Research Laboratories Oncology. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate your time and the opportunity to speak with your group today.
Fantastic. Let's jump right in because this is so interesting. What is the biggest challenge you think you face in leading this group for Merck?
Well, since my focus is on oncology and I do have a counterpart who leads all of our non-oncology therapeutic areas, the focus for me right now, the challenge for me is the volume of simultaneous trials that are being conducted, not just by our company, but by so many different developers around the world. And with all of these trials, they're all evolving so quickly. There's been an unprecedented amount of regulatory success, which is fantastic for patients and healthcare providers, but they're moving to very frontline populations. So we're now asking patients and healthcare providers, and really not just oncologists, but the healthcare team, to think about clinical trials at the time of diagnosis. So that's really a big challenge. So it's volume and really a different time point on that continuum of care that really present us with some interesting challenges.
You talk about the scope of operations. Can you talk about what you and your team are doing to enable global trial planning?
Yeah, so thank you for that question. That is really a big part of our mission. And so we work with our regional organization, and we have offices in about 63 countries worldwide. And really, I have the privilege of working with fantastic people all over the globe. And our process is really structured based on their input. So we do some preliminary work that's very data driven, and then we layer in iteratively the local data from all of those countries as we go through the protocol development process. And that really informs our overall operational plan.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about data because as trial optimization gains momentum in the industry, it seems it's fueled by big data. How are you and your team using these assets, and how do you stay up on all the changes?
Yeah,
So
that,
much going
that
on.
that is a different kind of challenge. So my job has changed a lot over the years with the explosion of data and cloud-based technologies and the ability to interrogate data so quickly and bake it into all that we do. So I am very grateful that my team has grown over the years, and we have some young folks who are outstanding at really keeping on top of all of this stuff and very quickly integrating it into our methodology. And so we constantly are scanning the landscape, piloting new things, and assessing whether or not is that giving us an edge. And by an edge, I don't just mean a competitive edge, but is it really helping us help our patients and helping us help our sites, right? So those are really important efforts for us too. So we want to make sure that anything that we do with data isn't just about execution, but it's also about really removing barriers for patients and sites.
Okay, last question. Let's sum this up. How does all of this enable trial execution for you all?
Well, we have a tremendous track record of predictability. And so what do I mean by that? So at the outset of trial planning, our internal stakeholders in the company will ask us sort of like, how long is the trial going to take? How many countries do you need? How many sites are you going to need? And we tend to hit our metrics about 80% of the time. So 80% of the time that we plan a trial, those metrics are within variance for us. So we're really pretty proud of that. Because when you look at industry-wide metrics, the rest of the industry seems to struggle a little bit more with accuracy in that regard. And so that really helps us inform downstream planning. Like, once we finish a trial, how do we lock a database and deliver the clinical study report and then, maybe launch to market? So predictability is a big thing for us. It also helps us, this whole approach helps us really understand what our execution challenges are early on, right? So we're able to be more targeted, more strategic in what we're solving for. So a lot of trial optimization functions will layer in execution support or recruitment support, and we do that in a more data-driven, strategic way based on this whole end-to-end process. And I would say finally, having the ability to be that strategic creates opportunities for us to think more carefully about enriching the site experience and the patient experience. How do we take care of the sites and the patients who are supporting all of the important work we do?
I want to thank you for giving us some insight into this program. Very important, very innovative. We're lucky that you all are engaging in this. This has been ACRP TV's Spotlight on Merck's Oncology Trial Optimization Program. We've been lucky to be speaking with Kelly White, who is the head of the trial optimization function for Merck Research Laboratories Oncology. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Michael.